Hey, welcome to this new video, and today we will go ahead and I will show you how you can change your interface on your client using patches. So today we will basically just be removing this logo to something else that we want to use. So to do that, we would first need to find where in the Lua files, Lua or XML, where it does this. And after that, then we can patch in our own BLP file. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, let's head in and find our stuff inside the file or inside the patches. So head into your World of Warcraft client root folder, then go into data and go into your language version of your client, and then you go down to patch ENUS3. The reason for these is that, let's say, if Wrath of the Lich King didn't change anything, then there wouldn't be anything changed in here. So if we said that the Burning Crusade had the same login screen and the same icon and everything the same, then you would find stuff in here. So the patch files is basically for each of the expansions. So this is vanilla. Here you find everything for vanilla. Here you find everything for the Burning Crusade. And in here you find everything for Wrath of the Lich King. But this is important. You will need to always, so if you go into the Burning Crusade one and find the login, account login.lua, and then change something and put it in a patch again, then your client will crash because it expects the newest file, which is from Wrath of the Lich King. So always use the newest one, which would nearly always be Wrath of the Lich King, I would think. So let's head inside the patch, Wrath of the Lich King. Now, everything that has to do with the UI, mostly everything, has to be inside interface. And inside interface, you will find your frame XML, which is most of the time where you will find a big part of all the files for your interface stuff. But there are also other things you will need to find inside the glue XML. As you can see, this is where you'll need to find the login stuff and the character select and basically a bunch of other things. So these two are important. The Lua is basically the code behind it. The XML is the UI behind it, so like the design of it, so how it's set up, how big a button is, or how big like a file is. No, sorry, not a file, a logo is. Since we want to change the logo inside the login screen, like the character or account login, we will need to just change the XML. So to do this, we want to open up our folder, and I already had a folder for extracted stuff when I'm looking for something. So I made a new folder here called tutorial, and then all you do here is just you select the XML, account login XML, drag it over here, and now we have it here. Awesome. Let's head inside the file, so right click on it and click edit or edit with Notepad++. It depends on what you have installed, but also clicking edit will open it with normal Notepad. I do recommend Notepad++ for this. So I will open it in ++. Yes, and now you see all the code for the buttons and all the code for like the font and everything. So I know it's pretty normal that you would call stuff like a logo something with name then logo at the end of it. So let's click Control F to search, and you'll see this bar open, and you can see I already have logo, but I will write again LOGO and click Find Next, and it jumps to here. So you see the texture, which is a texture, and then the file it should use for the texture is the Blizzard logo. Well, that's not the one we want to find, so let's try and hit enter again in the search, and now we find texture, and the name is account login logo, and the file is the important thing to look for. The file is interface /glues/common/glues WoW and Wrath of the Lich King logo. So now we know this is the logo we want. So since we don't want to use the same file, we want to change this to our own file's name. Let's say we just want it to be, and this is important to remember what you write here, because this is how the UI, the XML will find the file to use. So we need to put it inside the same path of this as we write here with the file. I always just keep it in interface glues and then common, because it's easier to always have them like Blizzard intended it to be. So I will call my logo custom logo. That's all I will call it. And now you hit save, Control S, and now we saved it. Now we're actually pretty much done with the account login.xml. So we patched it to use this. So now let's minimize this, because we will need to look in here later. Let's minimize it. And now I will put a link down below and in my Discord for this tool, BLPNG Converter. This converts a PNG file to a BLP, which is the version of texture files that WoW uses. So it needs to be a BLP. So let's open up the program, and it's pretty simple. It's 2 BLP or 2 PNG. So because I want to put in a logo, so I already found a logo I want to use. Let me find it down here. So I have my folder here with the tool and with the icons. I will explain why I have one called icon resized in a second. So go here. So I have this one. All I did was download it online. If I click this, you'll see conversion complete. Some files were not converted. To see report, click here. And we click here and we see the file didn't work, like it didn't get converted. Improper image dimensions. The reason it tells us right here, it must be in the power of 2. So 16, 32, 64, 128 through 56. So that means we need to convert this image, because my image, as we see here, if I go under the properties of it, and then I think it's details, yeah, you see it's 230 times 230, which is not the way the tool wants it to be. So to convert this, there's a lot of websites online you can just use. The one I normally use is, let me just Resizer. Let me just, so all you actually need to do is write PNG resize, and we'll see a bunch of tools come up. The one I use normally is just this one. This is the one I use. So all you gotta do here is you gotta go in here. Here we have the non-resized one. I'll delete the resized one. So here we have the one that's wrong, the wrong dimension. You drag it in here. You go down here and you put it as some dimension that matches what the program said. So either one of these. So I have it as 128 times 128, and I say save as and download. And then you click download and you wait a few seconds, like 10 seconds, and it will download for you. Now download it. Now I'll go here, I'll cut it, and then I'll put it in my folder again. So here, logo resized. So now I have the PNG file here, which has been resized. Now we can basically close down this window or this browser. Close. Now you can open the program again. Then click to BLP. Choose files. And I will go to where I have the file located. So my logo resized and conversion complete. Now we can close it, and you see now I have the BLP file of the logo. So that works fine now. All we gotta do now is basically go in and make a new patch. So the way I do it normally is I just have a folder for it. I don't wanna always make these and then need to open them up and stuff. I just have a folder with everything. So that's my way of doing it. It doesn't matter if you have another way of doing it. Like if you use the normal MPQ file, that's totally fine too. I just do this as it's faster and easier for development. So go into your patch, go into interface, and now you wanna place like this logo, you wanna place it the same location as inside our file. So that was interface/glues/common and then the file. So interface, and then we want to find glues. It's here. And here you want to find common. And you can see here I have my own other logos laying around here from my other patches. So, and that doesn't matter as long as you're not using them, you can just keep them here. But here you would probably see nothing in here, and you need to make the file structure for it, or folder structure. So you need to make the interface glues and then common yourself. So here you would drag the logo, and then we will rename it to custom logo because we wrote custom logo here. So now we patched in our logo file, but we still gotta find where we need to put our login, account login.xml file. The way you do this is you look back in where we found it in patch en us for me, free. Then you find interface and you see it was it under glue XML, yeah. And we see the file here. So that means we can close this window. We need to go back into our patch folder, then go to glue XML because this is where we found the file too, and it needs to be the exact same location as inside the patch files. That's the way the WoW client reads the files. And then you go into the folder where you had the copy of your file, and I have it here. I click Ctrl+C to copy it and Ctrl+V to paste it into glue XML. Now, if we did everything correctly, this should actually work. So let's try it out. Let me close everything and let me start WoW. And as you see, we have our own logo now. We changed and customized our own client now, but it's kind of stretched out. So let's fix this. So close WoW again. If you now again open up your folder to WoW, here you go to data and then into our own patch. Then you go into interface and glue XML, and then into your account login we updated. And again, click Ctrl F and logo twice to find it, and we are here. The reason it's stretched out is because the x-axis is 256 and the U is 128, so it's stretched out because the normal WoW logo is like the width of it is longer than the height. That's why. So what you can do here to make this work is set it to the dimension of the image you used. So I used 128 times 128. Now click Ctrl S and say yes if something comes up about saving. Oh, sorry, my bad. Like that, yep, save it. Now close again and start WoW. And we just fixed the icon for now. Now you can play around with positioning it correctly if you want to move it or something, but all of that is also inside the XML file. I really hope this helped you out. The next videos will continue on, well, the next videos about like this interface changing stuff. We will work on making these buttons say something else and even open up another website. Or open up your Discord link, like invite to Discord. So I really hope this one helped you out, and please remember to like and subscribe, and I see you in the next one. Bye.